In Kierkegaard's Sickness Unto Death, one underlying idea throughout this excerpt is his view on choice and what it actually means in regard to feeling despair. Now, despair is something that, according to Kierkegaard, no matter what, it's part of the human existence in some way, shape, or form. Even those who are Christian are feeling some form of despair. And this despair is simply the idea that as a human project, we're always making some sort of choice. We're always trying to synthesize who we are as a person, and this is a spiritual action for Kierkegaard. And the only way to really resolve this despair, in some extent, is to make that choice to have faith in, and something that we talk about in class, to have faith in something like God's plan for yourself. But this isn't just a mere one choice and you're done. That's it. You, from the youngest age, made a choice to believe in God, and then your life from then on out is easygoing, no despair, no anxiety, no nothing. Rather, this is meant to be a constant choice that we're faced with, to always synthesize ourselves into who we want to be. And this is obvious for a lot of us more now than ever, in that graduating college, making choices on where we want to go, whether in life or just for future plans. And it's not an easy thing to deal with. And for Kierkegaard, there's two separate extremes to having this middle ground between always making a choice, but also, in a sense, always being in despair. On the one end, this is having to only make the one and done kind of choice. You'll fall into just another kind of despair, according to Kierkegaard. It is not a different, it's not like you're removed from despair. Despair is just still there, in the sense that you're not really synthesizing yourself. You're not making any kind of choice. You're just moving along aimlessly in life, almost, where if everything's decided for you, then are you really doing anything? Are you really making any choices or being a free person, in a sense? Kierkegaard would say, no, you're not free. You're just moving along in life with no real feeling towards what you're doing. And I think this is very evident in not just this certain rise of a fundamentalist belief in religion, or even evangelicalism, but you also see people doing very similar things with non-conventional forms of religion. I mean, you could have faith in something like science, and it's still many people to seem to have a one-and-done kind of mentality towards what they do. It's, oh, they do it, it's right, so why worry about anything else? If everything's determined, figured out, why feel any kind of despair? But if that's the case, then that is going against what Kierkegaard seems to think the human project is, which is a constant spiritual synthesis of some kind. Then on the other end of the spectrum of choice, you have denying the choice, which a good example would be, as we mentioned in class, Camus and the Myth of Sisyphus, where Camus probably gets very close to making a leap towards faith. He rejects it in the sense of looking up, seeing despair, blackness in the night sky, and just really nothing in life, and he says there's nothingness. And this also is choosing to just deny that you, as a human project, are being created in something other than you. For Camus, you're your own project, but you're not. And this is something that's fair for a lot of existentialists around the time of Camus that there is no God who creates you, that you're your own project, but you're still in that constant despair because you can't create yourself. You fail at that synthesis as well. And these different choices, always having to make some sort of choice, small ones, big ones, anything like that. Kierkegaard's solution to despair makes sense in that you're not being faced with constant fear of doing something wrong. If you, a human who just can't know everything in the world, makes a choice, you are never certain whether or not it's right or wrong, and that is one cause of despair. Kierkegaard's solution of choice and faith solves that, in that if you have unlimited faith in some entity like God that could know your plan, then despair is still there, but it's calming in that somebody is there to help you with that. And that's, I think, very interesting in that the solution as compared to other people he dealt with, like Nietzsche and Heidegger, who seem to put a lot of weight on the individual, can be very anxiety inducing. Kierkegaard's solution is an actual relation with God, which will help kind of solve that anxiety and despair. But it is very much, I think, in today's world, more common to see people do a one and done kind of choice, or a negation or rejecting of the choice. But maybe much of Kierkegaard's writings could be applied to what's going on today, or maybe it's just a stretch to say that, but making a choice is indeed something that people should try to do on a more daily task rather than every now and again.